COVID did affect a lot of things. What was your production status when you guys got the run home message that everybody got?
That happened.
Where were you at?
That happened on set. Coincidentally, it was our last day of shooting this big block before, because we've been shooting in giant blocks and then breaking, primarily because of big effect scenes. So, it's we need to break, and I have to prep, because if we had to do everything all at once, I mean, by the time we'd be shooting, it would be a year from now. I mean, which we're still doing, actually. But yeah, it happened on set, and you just noticed the atmosphere on set just got very weird. People started getting really panicked. And then we had heard that somebody who, a stunt guy who came in, somebody he worked with had gotten it. He actually called us all up, and he was like, yeah, I just got to tell you. He's like, I was around somebody 2 weeks ago who just tested positive for this. So everybody's freaking out, and then who's afraid to go home and who's rushing to go home and everything. So it was pretty surreal, because we never experienced anything like this before. And then, we went home, and then by the time I got home, it was like real. And it was like, holy shit. It's like, you're not allowed to drive around and this and that. And it's like, oh, okay. All right. This is new. Here we go.
This is seriously one of the first. I mean, it was definitely the first time in my life that I can remember that the only real reference we had for something like this was genre films. You know what I mean? For real. 100%. The only reference that we had for this sort of a thing was Outbreak, Andromeda Strain, exactly. I Am Legend. You know what I mean? Things like that. And then the streets started looking that way. If this would have been zombies, we would have been effed. Super early. This would have been a short movie.
We can't even handle this. I mean, imagine. Oh my God, forget it.
And you guys are down there in New York, where that big New Rochelle outbreak was, and that was like the ground zero for a lot of the first. I hate to call it even a panic, but the panic that went down.
Yeah. We were in a small. We're in like a small town, Canajoharie, New York, in the middle of nowhere, really shooting. But like I live in Staten Island. It's a lot more heavily populated and everything, but it hasn't been too bad here that I know of. But I don't know. But like you said, I mean, just unprecedented situation. Really, really insane to go through it. Especially, we had some people who were really, really paranoid on set who just got out of there immediately, and people who didn't want to show up because it just started happening. And yeah, it was crazy. It was so crazy.
Yeah, you don't know what you're going to do until you're faced with that sort of a thing. Did you at all think we had some MCs and some rappers actually go home from a project and think, am I ever going to be able to rap again? Did you think that you were going to be able to go back to your project? Did you have any of those down days like most of the creatives had, where we didn't know if the new world even was going to have room for the creatives like us?
Honestly, not at all. I'm a little more optimistic with my outlook on things. I think people tend to gear toward panic and fear a lot more than they should. I mean, I think it's just in our nature to be inherently scared of things. So no, I mean, as soon as I got home, I just took the opportunity to edit, because we have so much footage. I mean, we're basically there where we're at like the, we're at the end zone where we have like 95% of the film in the can. So I took these 2 months to really just start editing everything. I mean, I haven't stopped. So I've just been editing and prepping the remainder of the special effects that we have left. So I remain optimistic.
I keep my eye on your Instagram. I enjoy your Instagram quite a lot. And I know you're building a lot of heads. You're punching a lot of hair into those individual heads. And
I got hair all over the place.
Yeah, you're constantly prepping. You're constantly prepping those big deal special effects.
Yeah, we have two major kills left. And that's what I'm actually just working on one of them. And then we're going to go shoot that and then take another break. And it's probably going to take me like another month to prep the biggest kill scene. That's the kill that we're trying to top the hacksaw scene. So we want to make sure we do it right. And it's super involved, and it's a slew of special effects. It's just gag after gag after gag for this one kill. So
I like the way you call them gags, but in your case, they don't look like gags. You know what I'm saying? You take great pride in your realism and the grittiness of your effects. And we had spoken before about Tom Savini and your love and inspiration for him. Mm-hmm. And clearly, there are people like Greg Nicotero and Rick Baker who do these large scale, out of this world unbelievable special effects. I recently saw you talking about a man by the name of Dick Smith, who a lot of horror fans may not know as a makeup guru, but who you pointed out something that I didn't even know.
Oh, really? Okay.
A bald cap on a certain Mr. Robert De Niro. In what film was that? I'm sorry. I'm
in Taxi Driver.
Yeah, in Taxi Driver. And I did not know that he did not shave his head into a mohawk. It seems like you have this mixture of the overly gory and macabre, as well as that subtle realism of a Dick Smith. Like, could you talk about that? Like, how does your planning go in? Like, you want to cut somebody in half, and that's very easily to make look bad if done poorly, if shot in the wrong lighting, if it's the wrong color of fluids you're using. Any number of things can go wrong and make that look cheesy. You seem to painstakingly go through and make sure that realism is there. Can you tell the folks about that?
I do. I try. I mean, it depends what you're going for. Also, on the flip side, it's also a lot easier when you're dealing with gore because you can cover up a lot of imperfections with the blood, and a lot of people do that. Whereas, Dick Smith creating that bald cap in Taxi Driver, there is nothing on earth that can hide anything. It is in broad daylight. It is in an extreme close-up. I actually didn't realize how few people knew about that until I posted it. I got so many DMs of people just being like, what? That's a bald cap? And that's really sad because it's so miraculous. It's so good. I mean, that's like 40 years old, give or take. And it's still one of the greatest.
The fact that you can do that practically pisses me off that they're de-aging people with CGI. Like, you know what I mean? You think you should be able to de-age somebody with prosthetics and with prior molds of their own face. And especially if they were doing something like that 40, 50 years ago. That was damn near 50 years ago. He was
like
doing
50
years
ago. And revolutionary.
You described the process of using the atomizer for an asthma inhaler to shoot the sprecklets of hair to create that 5 o'clock shadow stubble. And I don't even know where to begin on something like that.
Exactly. Because at that time, as far as I know, that had never been done before, that technique. So if there was ever a technique where you put a bald cap on somebody, they stippled what looked like stubble with makeup. They never actually used real hair. So he invented that technique, and it had to be done like perfectly. And he had to spray it on little by little in each spot. If he went too heavy, clumped up, and it ruined everything. So everything had to be done so like finite. It's just so amazing. I mean,
and if the viewers don't know what we're talking about, I'm going to make sure to intersplice some photos of what you're speaking of for real. Because, like I said, I didn't know. And recently, a few of the legends, Rick Baker included, have released basically autobiographies and tech book, manuals.
I have his book.
You know, with the box set, the big box set.
Oh my God, yeah, I had to get
amazing. Yeah, it was amazing. It's an amazing thing.
He's one of my heroes as well. I mean, I put them all up on the highest pedestal. They're all on my Mount Rushmore of makeup artists. There's a lot of times where I want to say Rick Baker is the king. I mean, like, he really took quality to another level. And he told a story that I think of till this day. And when I'm ever doing something so tedious or really getting fed up and I want to take a shortcut or just give up a little bit, like when he was a kid, he was trying to get jobs and going to like mask companies, and nobody wanted to hire him. And like, he took a sculpture to a mask company when he was a little kid, and he had like all this pore texture in this. I think it was a gorilla sculpture he was doing. And the guy who worked there was like, don't waste your time putting all that effort. He's like, the camera and everything is never going to pick up that detail. He's like, no one's going to know it's there. And Rick Baker's like, well, I'm going to know it's there. And now you watch American Werewolf in London, now restored in 4K, where you see all that detail, and it's all there, and it all holds up. Come on.
It holds up when I can't enjoy Scarface anymore in 4K because I see the cardboard furniture in the living room.
No way.
Yeah, like movies like Scarface, like the production design, that huge production design, a lot of that was cardboard, and you don't realize it until you watch it now in 4K transition, and it's very clearly a piece of cardboard.
The Al Pacino?
Yes.
Scarface?
Like,
wow, okay.
4K to some degree took some of the muck off the lens that they were using to make things look cinematic, I think.
Yeah.
But like you said, with the Rick Baker situation, that shit holds up. I mean,
big time,
it holds. There's a lot of things that you wouldn't think hold up. I mean, Gremlins. holds up. Terminator
Brilliant makeup.
holds up. Like
Mhm.
today holds up, and it can be put against the CGI stuff.
Oh,
And,
if something's good, if something's good, it's good. It'll just stand the test of time. Like I say this all the time as well. Like I'm sure you're aware of who Rob Bottin is, right? Who did The Thing and Legend.
Yep.
Like I still say that Legend, the Tim Curry darkness makeup, is arguably the greatest makeup of all time.
The big horns. Are you talking about the horns? Yes. I remember almost ordering that mask until I realized I'd break my neck trying to carry it on my shoulders. Yeah. Those giant makeups that to this day, even if you see them in 4K HD, yep, they do hold up. And I mean, I can see the effects of Terrifier holding up for 40, 50 years to come as well, because they're done practically, because they're done in camera, and because there are no seams.
Thanks,
at least
man.
none that you can see.
I'm trying. I appreciate that, man. And again, in part 2, there's virtually no CGI. If ever I use CGI, which I did a little bit in the first one, but you can't really tell. Like there was in the beginning when she pokes the girl's eyeballs out, like the blood tube was actually separated from behind her arm, was in the shot, so I digitally erased that. Like little subtle things.
Yeah, like digital erasures and things like that are one thing, but when you're creating bullet squibs, which I always go back that there's nothing that will take me out of a movie worse than a digital bullet hole. Like nothing takes me out of a film worse.
I agree. I say that all the time, and I'm not knocking The Walking Dead or anything like that. It's a masterpiece of a show. But like, yeah, even like when they resort to the digital bullet hits, it does take me out a little bit. They still haven't quite nailed that yet. There's something about digital liquid that they can't fucking nail it yet. I don't know what it is. So no digital bullet hits. There are bullet hits in Terrifier 2, and we use the most simplistic method. Blew everybody's mind on set. It's literally, I take a hose, I fill it with blood, and I have people off camera blowing into the hose. That's it. And you get
air-powered squibs.
You get Kill Bill fucking blood spray going everywhere, and it works. It's you don't have to get pyrotechnics and technicians and all this bullshit.
That's fantastic. That's that DIY spirit, that underground spirit, that old trauma spirit of making the most of exactly what you've got. You've been able to do that with not just the effects portion of your film, but also the casting portion. You've somehow found these jewels, man. I mean, David Howard Thornton is a jewel.
He's a
when
jewel,
it comes to Art the Clown. And then, in the new one, you've cast Lauren Levera as the character Sienna.
That's my girl.
I watched a bunch of her reels last night. I watched her martial arts reel. I watched her Iron Fist reel. I watched her boxing reel. I'm not fighting her.
You don't want to fight her. She's a real life badass.
I'm not going to fight her. Is she your Sarah Connor? Is Sienna your Sarah Connor?
Yeah, I'm going to say 100%. I'm not even going to hide it. I mean, she is a fucking amazing badass final girl. Again, I will say this: we're still in Terrifier Art the Clown territory, so I'm going to say nobody is safe. You're not going to know what's coming at you in this movie. But this is a character that I tried to put this character in a movie back in 2008, and that movie fell apart. So this is a character that's so near and dear to my heart, and I've been just living with this character and just having to get her onto the screen for so long. I mean, the character has definitely evolved since then, but it was always this final girl in a slasher who, dons this angel warrior Valkyrie costume. And
that was going to be my next question, is that we have received some production stills, and in a few of them, she's appearing as what seems to be, and you've described it as yourself, as an angel warrior.
Yeah.
Is that just a Halloween costume, since we know the setting of Terrifier 2 will be Halloween night once again? Right. Or are you being a little, I don't know, foreshadowing maybe a little something more?
Oh, there's definitely more than meets the eye with that costume. But it is a Halloween costume, but it's not just an arbitrary costume where she was like, oh, this is like sexy and cool, I'm just going to wear this. It's
a little more than just sexy and cool. It's got Dogma vibes, those big wings and the Archangel vibe and the whole, just everything, the armor and everything.
Yeah. I mean, that character, that costume is one that she's been working on and building throughout the course of the movie, and it has very sentimental meaning to her character that you'll find out when you watch the movie. But yeah, there's a lot. That character, that costume, it's a big part of who her character is. So.
Speaking of sentimentality, you've added someone a bit younger to the victim pool this time, maybe to tug at some parental heartstrings. You cast the little man, Elliot Fulham, from Little Punk People. I'm a Little Punk People fan myself. Shout out to Elliot. He does some good work, does some great interviews. Did you meet him? Did he interview you? Was he chosen because of his spunkiness and YouTube success, or did he audition?
No, he just auditioned. I didn't know anything about his YouTube channel or anything like that. And that was by far the hardest role to cast. Because again, you're dealing with a kid. You need someone young who's also a very good actor, and someone who's going to be able to, deal with the physicality that came with this role. Super physical role. I mean, we put this kid through the ringer. I mean, and it's a very emotional movie. There's a lot of drama involved. I mean, the movie centers around a mother-daughter who played by Lauren and Elliot. So it's this trifecta and this dynamic between them throughout the course of the entire movie. So there's a lot going on, and very difficult to find that actor to play that role. And as soon as the first thing, and this had nothing to do with him getting the role, but this was just like icing on the cake. Before he even started, he just went off on this rant of what a big fan he was of Terrifier. And he's like, I've seen it. I love it. He's like, whether I'm in the movie or not, he's like, I just want to tell you, great job. He's like, we're big fans and everything like that. And that was really cool. But then when he auditioned, he's above and beyond the best actor who auditioned for the part. So
yeah, he's pretty fantastic. I enjoy his content, and he has abutted, that horror realm for quite some time, as most of these music realms kind of do to some degree or another. And yeah, you want a kid who's at least familiar with the project. You don't want to have to worry about the long-term psychological damage you may be putting certain people for. And that was going to be one of my next questions, was how hard was it to even search out a kid for a role like this, given the notoriety of the original film?
I don't know if it was difficult, but again, like the auditions that we got, I think at the end of the day, we really only narrowed it down to Elliot and one other kid. The other kid was a lot younger, wasn't as good an actor. But on the flip side, I did want a younger actor to play this part. But thankfully, I mean, Elliot and his father, Justin, I mean, they're a godsend. We couldn't have asked for better people, more dedicated people. They would do anything. They never complain about hours, blood, anything. His father, both of them are always just like pushing it. Even when I'm like, we don't need to go that far. It's all right. No, push it. It's all right. You know what I mean? So, all right, let's do it. Get in there. Get your ass kicked. Let's do it. So, I mean, you can't ask for better people to be around, especially when you're doing a 18-hour day, 20-hour day, and zero complaints, just a total pleasure. But the most important thing is delivering a really fantastic performance.
And it's super on brand for him. There's really no departure from what I see in his content. When I saw him say he got cast, I was like, oh, that makes complete sense.
Complete sense. Not only that, because they're so in the music world, music is actually a big part of his character and Sienna's character. Like Sienna, her character really centers around like synthwave and all that new 80s kind of retro music, and he's into like death metal and stuff like that. So they actually got all kinds of permission and rights to put albums and posters and all kinds of amazing things in his room.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, that he could pepper it with his own shit like that. That's just fantastic.
Beautiful.
I mean, that was something I hadn't written down, but something that I definitely noticed in the first Terrifier was the use of score and the importance of music and sound in horror, especially to create that ambience and that just it's simple and it's synthy and it works. And when you hear that, art is around the corner. So did you get to play with that some more? Did you get to bring in any specific songs that you like in particular?
Well, as far as the score goes, Paul Wiley, who did the first one, is already working on the second one. I actually sent him a rough cut of one of the craziest scenes in the movie. Before I sent him the cut, I said, "Look, I got to start showing this to people." I said, but I didn't give it to him yet. But I described the scene and I broke it down into minutes and beats, and I told him exactly what was happening. And I said, "Could you just whip up a little piece of music for me real quick for this?" And he immediately, in like 2 days, he came back with this insane piece of music that fit in so perfectly without him even seeing it. And it was one of those magical moments where I'm like, oh my God, this is better than I could have imagined. And then I sent it to him like a week later after I laid it in and finished editing the scene, and he was blown away. So yeah, we're already upping the game in the score department. He actually did a variation of the Terrifier score. So there's a more hardcore version, and then there's actually
more
hardcore version, and then there's going to be like a softer version.
Okay.
So there's yeah. I mean, it's amazing he didn't even start yet, basically, but what he's done already.
That is something that I think has been lost over the years, is the use of a primary theme where you just change the melody or the tone or the color, whatever it may be, and hey, we got a happy version, we got a scary version, we got a fast-paced version, we got a depressed version, and that's great that he was able to take that and create a couple of different remixes, like, if you will, to it.
Exactly. Like, when's the last time you left a modern movie humming the theme? I mean, maybe a superhero movie, maybe, but I mean, oh my God.
Not even, though. Like, I can't think of any. Well, no, because that's just that's like a loop. That's not even a theme. Like, you're talking about that like Marvel, that Avengers, that Grant, that's not even really a theme. I think that's more just a loop.
Okay.
So, you guys are doing even more with the long form. So,
like that's
but that rings to me of Carpenter. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah,
and Carpenter would spend just as much time in the audio booth as he did behind the camera, looking at dailies.
And he's my biggest inspiration for a huge inspiration for directing. But when it comes to score, I tell Paul Wiley, I say, look, give me Carpenter vibes. Give me, I throw like a couple of names at him and stuff, but Carpenter's always in there. Phantasm theme. The classic.
Like the old synth-heavy zombie stuff.
Oh, so yeah, old cheesy zombie and everything.
There is a producer out there whose name I cannot remember, who's producing for the rap group Alazu Ilu, and all his music sounds like that old Italian zombie. Dragging it from the past, but just making it up to date. Speaking of dragging things from the past, I hate even using that term, because these ladies do not look any worse for wear with the years in the genre that they've put in. But you've got a couple of genre veterans, Tamara Glynn and Felissa Rose, joining your cast, and you've got the inclusion of some newer faces, Casey Hartnett, Kaylee Hyman. How does it feel being able to give these veteran scream queens the ability to pass the torch, so to speak, in both the film and in these conventions? Because I know you guys end up at these same conventions, and I'm sure that's how castings like this happen.
That's 100%. It is such an honor to work with Felissa. We met Felissa. We met Felissa at the cons, and she immediately became one of our dearest friends. Like, we've known her for years. Like, it feels like she's immediately family. So we love her, and we were just so grateful that she was willing to do it. And Tamara, who I know all these people. Like, I never met Tamara at a con, but she was friendly with my boys, the Fuzz on the Lens boys, who are my co-producers, and they brought her in, and she was just another one. They're sweethearts. They're just phenomenal people, hard workers. It's just, and they deliver the goods. So they're
the real torchbearers of this genre, especially. Right now, certain aspects of the horror genre are under attack as being sexist. It comes and goes. It comes and goes in cycles, and women like them who stood their ground as veterans in this game in the TNA 80s, and the not so woke 90s, and are still killing it 35 years later in these roles. It's great for them to be able to show the newcomers that there's longevity in this game, that you don't have to be just another victim.
No, for sure. And do I want to spoil this? No, I can't say whether or not they're victims or not. But
okay.
Yeah.
I know their roles are still up for grabs. We're still waiting on our first look, whether that's going to be a clip, whether that's going to be a teaser trailer, whether that's going to be Art doing origami for 3 minutes on Twitch. We don't know what's going to happen.
That's a good idea. I should release first looks of them. That's a good idea.
We do know that you had the plan to release some sort of a trailer at the since rescheduled Texas Frightmare weekend, and that you are still planning on delivering something to that new rescheduled date that I think is first weekend of October or September.
I think it's I'm actually not sure. I think it's September.
Yeah, it's like the second, third, fourth, maybe.
I lost track, but yeah, because I had promised them that we would deliver the teaser there, but now because of all this shit, I mean, and fans are getting so antsy, so I feel like we have to deliver at least a teaser very soon. But I told them that I would definitely give them something exclusive, whether it's a scene or it'll probably be a scene by the time we get there. So yeah,
the fans are gobbling up like literally any type of news, whether it was the debut of the suit at Astronomicon, or it was those first look pictures of just the back of Art's head that every blog and their mama picked up, or the pictures of Sienna in her winged costume. And I mean, clearly there is a rabid fan base out here waiting for this next installment of Killings from Art the Clown. Has COVID shifted your plan for an October release? I know you were originally thinking that.
It's still too early to say. I don't want to give out false information, but I mean, it might be difficult at this point to get the movie. I mean, the movie will certainly be done by October, but whether or not we can secure distribution and get it out by then, I mean, that's really not up to me to say. So, because we don't have distribution set in place at all, so it's like we're pretty much starting from scratch, just shopping the movie around. So when it's ready, we'll get that ball rolling. But it's really hard to say. But we're not stopping. I mean, COVID sort of it definitely set us back a little bit. But like I said, I was able to use that time to edit, which would have been the case.
Yeah, it puts you ahead anyway.
Yeah.
In your edits, did the movie inform itself at all? Have you had any changes of hearts due to edits? Have there been any? Have you edited something and then maybe it led to you looking at something later on in a different way?
Oh, that's a very good question. Well, everything. Well, there's a few scenes where I edit. I'm like, that came out basically exactly the way I wanted, which is what you want and hope for every time. A lot of times there are surprises, happy surprises. Sometimes you're like, "Ooh, that didn't work as well as I hoped," which is good in this sense because then maybe you have time to go back and.
That's what I meant, like reshoots. Like, did you end up adding anything to your production schedule, given this break, allowing you the time to process what you already had?
Yeah, I mean, technically no. But what did just happen is this hair punching, these fake heads that I'm working on right now. That location we actually just lost. So we started shooting there, and now we lost that location. Thankfully, I'm pretty sure now I have to go and edit that scene because I have to.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, that's how are you going to? Okay, I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm laughing at you. That sucks.
This is big breaking news right now.
That sucks. I apologize.
Dude, this is making a movie. It's a shit show. It's chaos. It is,
especially during the world's most boring Armageddon.
It's absolute chaos, man. You can't. I mean, you could imagine, but it's just there's nothing like it. Especially on this movie in particular, I have never ever dealt with so many curveballs being thrown at me at every given time. I'm talking like the movie gods just smiting us, just laughing at every turn, just trying to knock us down, man. I mean, so many obstacles with this movie. But yeah, we just lost that location in a scene that we already shot half of it. But luckily we just have like these heavy duty special effect inserts. So, I mean, we're pretty fucking awesome at just creating. If we have to go and create like a little piece of a set, recreate that. We've done that many times. I mean, we could easily do that. So luckily these are just like close up inserts that we have left in this scene. But again, it's just one of those things. You didn't see this coming. It's just one more piece of bullshit that you got to deal with. And it's like, oh, all right. But
that's why you love it. That's why it's a labor of love. You're
fucking labor of love.
You see it through.
You see it through, man. I mean, it makes you harder. I mean, you know, I actually at some point you got to embrace all these challenges. It makes you feel better. I mean, fuck it. Come at me. Let's fucking do it. Let's conquer it. Let's fucking, you know, it doesn't matter. You just got to do it. Just make the movie. Just fucking do it at the end of the day. I say it all the time. Nike nailed it, man. Just fucking do it.
Now, have you been keeping your eye on any? I mean, I know you're more the filmmaker and not so much the distributor or producer aspects, but have you been keeping your eye on this theatrical release versus VOD versus roadshow kind of formula? And have you been leaning one way or another?
Dude, I mean, I don't see a legit theatrical release happening. I'm a realist.
Well, what is it? You say legit, and to be honest with you, and I don't mean to disregard your words. After all this, I don't think we'll ever see the numbers that we were seeing on Endgame, because there are still going to be people who don't want to go out to theaters.
100%. 100. I think you're right. At least
so
for
the idea of a legit theatrical release, what does that even entail? You know what I mean? Yeah. Kevin Smith beat Endgame on a per screen average, taking his movie and showing it himself and doing his Q&A with his characters. And that was something I talked to David about, because with the convention scene, a Terrifier double feature roadshow.
Yep.
With meet and greet and all that. Guess what? I'm there in Boston, Providence, Hartford, wherever you're at, I'm going, because that's unique. And
I love you. You're a genius. I'm so glad. I'm going to take this snippet right here and I'm going to show that to my producer, because I've been telling him this for the past year, that the game is changing. And I think our best line of attack is to do a road show and to go to every major city in the country for a year and show this movie before we distribute it.
Exactly.
And do a Q&A, do a signing, whatever people want to do, give out posters and shit. And I don't think you'll have a more satisfying experience than that as a fan. And, you know, we go to these cons, we go to some pretty obscure places, and we have fans at every place. So I'm pretty sure if we go to every major city, we'll have a turnout for a screening. So
I have to assume they will come out. I saw the lines at Astronomicon. I've seen the lines for you guys at the other cons, and I have to assume you draw a respectable number in each place and make it worth, you know, a showing or two with a Q&A. And to be honest, that may be the new method. People don't want to go. If you're going to go and spend $50 on popcorn, you know, Milk Duds and a Diet Coke anyway, wouldn't you rather sit next to the filmmaker himself and his creation and maybe get a little FaceTime with them? I think you'd rather do that.
I think so too, man. I agree with you. And I'm telling you, man, like, this is a fun movie. Like, this is a roller coaster of a fucking movie. Like, it's wild, man. We put so much shit into this movie. Like, I want to talk about so much of it, but I can't really give out spoilers. But I mean, it is just nonstop. So many things you would not imagine that we're doing. Like, you're going to laugh. You're going to cheer. You might fucking cry. You're going to fucking scream. I mean, you're going to be grossed out. I put everything I ever loved in movies since the time I'm 3, like, into this movie. Like, everything I've learned, even as like a screenwriter, taking that very seriously about just characters, character arcs, character dynamics, just everything that I know has worked in the past with movies with characters. And I'm pretty fucking positive this movie is going to deliver and be super satisfying and be a movie you want to see in a crowd, because I think it's gonna get a lot. It's
gonna be a hoot and a holler and don't go in there, stupid. Like, that's
100%. Like, it's gonna be a fun time. It's gonna be a fun fucking time.
Part Chainsaw Massacre, part Rocky Horror, and I think that's what people want to do.
Movies, dude.
People want to do that. People want to go out there. They want to do that. They want to. They don't want to be shown. They want to experience,
man. 100%, dude. And this is an experience. This is an experience, man. It really is. I really think the audience is going to fucking fall in love with this Sienna character, just be on this ride. And people just fucking love Art the Clown. They really do, man. They have fun hanging out with that sadistic son of a bitch. And he's more sadistic than ever. I think he's funnier than ever in this movie. We certainly deliver the goods with Art the Clown. That's the least of my worries. I mean,
David's a genius when it comes to you put a genius in a genius character, and it just
I gotta be honest. I mean, that is the least of my concerns, which should be the biggest concern, right? Like not fucking up Art the Clown. But I mean, like we have him, I want to say, fingers crossed still, but I mean, like he's like safe. He's like safe. We have him in the bag. It's everything else. It's these new characters. It's taking this movie on a much bigger scale, bringing in like a mythology and just new things. Like the first one is so simplistic. Like even going back to what you were saying about the store. I mean, like that's the score. I'm sorry. I mean that's my MO is just like simplicity. Everything about Art the Clown is very simple. The story was simple. This one I get a little more involved and complicated with the story, and maybe hopefully not to a fault, but I don't think it's to a fault. I think it's a benefit, but we'll see. But we're definitely taking some chances on this one. So
besides editing too, and getting ready for those final few scenes and those final few effects, have you been able to put pen to paper on the next chapter yet? As I know the plan was.
Yeah. I'm still planning on doing a trilogy for sure. That cat's out of the bag. Well, pen to paper. Let me see. I did write a scene. Okay, that was supposed to be at the beginning of Terrifier 2. It was like 10 minutes. It was like 10 pages of a prologue. This movie's already fucking long. It's probably the first cut of this movie is probably going to be like 2 hours and 10 minutes. So I'm gonna have to.
That's a long horror movie.
It's a long fucking movie. So I'm gonna have to cut the shit out of this movie. So yes. But now I can move that to the beginning of part 3. So yes, technically I already have plenty of ideas. Here's the crazy thing. You would imagine that the hardest part of part 3 would be the ending. I know exactly how to end the Art the Clown saga. And I know how to start part 3. It's just the middle now where I got to fill in all the gaps.
The hard part.
But I mean, the ending is to me is a very satisfying ending and very unique, something I've never seen in a horror movie before. So that makes me feel good. I'm excited to share that with people. But yeah, it's just filling in the gap. And again, we're always going to fight those obstacles of topping amazing kill scenes, which is the hardest thing to do. Because at the end of the day, that's really, I mean, like, look, you don't want to say people don't care about, horror fans don't care about plot and character. They absolutely do. They absolutely do. They care about quality storytelling. And I say this all the time. Horror fans aren't just horror fans. They're cinema fans. You could talk to horror fans about any genre, any movie. You'll be spitting quotes about comedies, deep dives and anything. I mean, we just love films. But when it comes to horror, there's just this special love that they have, But they do care. But also, on the surface, they really do just want those primitive goods, which are the kill scenes. So I really do struggle with coming up with that next big kill scene. I mean, we're struggling with that on the second one to top the hacksaw scene. So that's my biggest fight, is really fucking conquering those kill scenes, man. That's what I'm fighting with right now.
Well, it sounds like you have things, at least on number 2, well in hand and headed towards a proper conclusion. And I know the heads out there are clamoring for this new product. I mean, I can't wait for it. I know most of the fans out there can't. Appreciate you taking the time to speak with us today, Damien. We can't wait to potentially have you back at the next Astronomicon whenever that might actually occur.
I'm there, man.
Most boring plague. And I wish you luck and success with the release of the teaser trailer, presumably at Texas Frightmare Weekend, whenever that does happen. And maybe we do get to see this in a roadshow format double feature where we could all throw popcorn at the screen and yell, "No, bitch, don't go in there," which is I think a lot of us like to do.
Dude, thank you so much for having me. Again, I'm so glad you brought up the roadshow thing, because I'm really fighting for that. And I think that's our best line of attack. So I'm really gonna use that. But I
think you guys would enjoy it too, because all Kevin keeps saying, it was like Holden Church, where he was the preacher and he was Jesus. You know what I mean? Because you're not going to have people just passing by deciding to see that movie. People who come to the roadshow are the exact audience whom you are aiming to consume this movie. So I think that is definitely your wave, and I hope to fucking see it. I hope we can get it at Astro. I would love to get something like that at Astro. That I know the fans would love that.